Hello, and thanks for joining me. Well, I'm kind of excited about this next project. Vevor sent me a 1,700 pound, roughly 1,700 pound electric hoist. And I'm going to mount it permanently underneath my deck. It's got a remote control, so nothing will be dangling down. And then I'm going to put some kind of weatherproof cover over it so it won't get rained on. They told me it wasn't waterproof. It's water resistant, just not waterproof. But this has been a really wet year, and I've had to clean out underneath my lawnmower probably about 6 times, and it's really difficult to do with my little chain hoist. But this will make it more convenient, and I'm sure I'll probably get a machine in the future I'll want to lift. Of course, well, it would lift my mill. My mill was 1,250 pounds, but if I get anything really substantial, I'll have to get some help unloading it. But anyway, let me show you what I got and let's get started. I don't remember what this one weighs. I think it's 48 pounds, something like that. It's pretty heavy though. Well, it weighs 18.7 kilograms, which is about 41 pounds. And I got the, what I said earlier was wrong. I got the 1,700 pound capacity. That's outstanding. That way I can lift a heavier machine if necessary. But I'll use it for cleaning out the deck underneath my lawnmower more than anything, probably. Wow, it's got some heavy-duty lifting straps. Mounting brackets, batteries for the remote. This is what I was kind of curious about. I don't know why it's so big, but it's got a mount next to the hoist. I believe it's the receiver for the hoist. But that's okay. I'll make the cover large enough to cover this and the hoist. Well, there it is. It's actually sitting upside down. And when the cable pulls into here, that's a trip switch that shuts it off. And on the top, which will go between the joists on my deck, there's a couple of mounting brackets. They go right there. And I'll have to make a setup to make it hang from the joists and have a cover on it. Now you can get this in several different configurations. Mine, you have to have the remote to use it. There's some with a remote plus a hanging control. And I didn't want the hanging control because I'm going to leave it out in the weather. And plus it's just under the deck, it'll be inconvenient because you'll run into it. But this should mount up in between the floor joists of my deck, and then I can drive under my deck and unload a machine or whatever, or lift my lawnmower. So the next step is to figure out how I'm going to mount it. I believe that's got it. Okay, this thing has got a control box. I guess it's got relays and picks up the remote signal. And normally it mounts right here, like that. Well, I'm not going to mount it quite like that. These would normally mount here, and 1 3/4 inch square tubing, or metric equivalent, would go through that to hang the hoist by. And that's handy for some applications. But in my application, I'm going to mount these bars right here, another one right here, and right here. And I'm going to drill a large clearance hole here and then a smaller hole for the bolt right there, and just mount it just like that. But I had this made last night. I wish it was a little bit thicker steel, but it's actually galvanized steel. But I'm going to mount that right there. Mount that right there. And these bars will go in through the joist to hold the hoist up under my deck. So, and then I'll mount that control box to the bottom side of this. I think that should work all right. Thing's a little awkward to work on the bench. But these holes here are 100 millimeters apart. We're going to drill those now. Okay, this is going to go through here and sit down inside. So I've got to drill a clearance hole for that washer. Well, I think I'm getting it up there. Camera battery went dead a little while ago, so I didn't get it all, but okay. I got 2 pins, 2 out of the 4 pins in there. They go in from each side. I would have liked them to go clear through that bar, but you couldn't get it. In other words, a bar that's wide enough to go all the way through can't go between the joists to go in there. Need to back up the lawnmower a little bit. Alrighty. Okay, I'm going to plug it in. I'm not exactly sure how this works. how the remote works, but I'm sure it'll be apparent. Yeah. It's got a switch right here. Cool. I'm not going to hook this up right now, but this hoist is rated at 1750, I think, 1750 pounds, but it's half of that with the single cable, and they call it a double cable. If you want to put it right here, hook this into the side of the hoist like that, and then you take the pin out of this hook here, and that doubles the weight. I won't have to do that unless I'm lifting my machine. I like it. It also came with this strap right here. I don't know if it'll be useful for my lawnmower or not. Yeah, might be. Yes, sir. Well, let's see what this does. Because I was pulling at an angle, that trip lever stopped the hoist. Need to pull the lawnmower up a little bit. Well, that'll make cleaning the lawnmower deck a lot easier. Well, my future plan, I'm not going to do it today. It's about 90 degrees out here and I'm burning up. But my future plans are to move that power cable up there between the joists and then come down the wall, and there's a plug right there. That's where I got it plugged into right now. But right here, I may do this too, run a bunch of holes through there, and if you look right there, I've got a hole that goes into the basement. That's from a heat pump that I used to have. So I may just run the extension cord through that and plug it in inside. But for now, I'll probably use that power source right there. There's no doubt in my mind I could pull this thing all the way up to the top, but the lawnmower's got a battery in it, and I hate to dump all the fluid out of the battery. I'm impressed. Very impressed. That's going to make cleaning under this mower much easier. And it's probably big enough to lift about anything I'm going to lift. This one here is 1,760 pounds. You can get it anywhere from 440 to 2,200 pounds. I'll put the links in the description down below. There's also a Vevor discount code. Anyway, I'm very impressed, and that about wraps it up for today. Thanks for joining me. Be sure and subscribe and ring that bell. Totally impressed.